Hi friends. Hey, given the current trade war between Canada and the US, I thought I'd have a closer look at our Canadian music industry and try and figure out how much of it is really Canadian and how much of it relies on the US. Digital Hobo's new release Climate Stories has a Made in Canada logo on it. We're proud that the music was made in Canada by Canadians. And we had no problem putting that on because the musicians that play on the album are all Canadian. It was recorded in a studio in Canada and it was pressed by a Canadian vinyl company. Also, when we tour the album, it's going to be primarily in Canada. So we had no problem putting a maple leaf on it. So let's dig into this a little bit deeper. Aspects of the recording rely heavily on the US. For example, a lot of the musical instruments played, the drums, the bass, the guitars, are manufactured in the US. Let's look at producer Riley Morantz's guitar collection. His studio guitars are Fenders and Gibsons, all made in the US. The mixing board, the Neve 88R that was used for Climate Stories, it was manufactured in Britain and then spent some time in Nashville at a studio and then was brought up to Canada. And the software that was used to record and mix the album is the industry standard Pro Tools. And it's made by a US company called Avid. So the way I think of it, Climate Stories is like most Canadian music productions. It's kind of like going to a construction site of a new home. The lumber, the construction workers, and a lot of the materials are made in Canada. But many of the specialty tools were manufactured in the US and brought into Canada to build the home. And you know what? It's difficult to get away from this because the construction tools are only made in the US. So if you want to build a home, you have to use them. In the same way, Climate Stories, like most Canadian records, is made by Canadian people using tools, instruments, software, electronics that are from the US. So I hope this gives you a glimpse into the Canadian music industry. And remember, buy Canadian and support Canadian indie music.
And find a common ground.